price on your next flight. Let one of our SmartFares expert travel agents find ridiculously low prices for you. Call SmartFares today and get the best price on your next flight. Guaranteed. Also, save up to 50% off business and first class tickets.
855-325-1780. 855-325-1780. That's 855-325-1780.
Hi, folks, and welcome to Fifth Street Sports. We're on the SB Nation Radio Network, also on the American Forces Network. Well, you know, Sports Byline, SB Nation Radio Network. Beautiful Friday afternoon in Las Vegas. I got my co-host, Oklahoma Brian, with me as usual. Got a great show for you today. Brian, really quickly, I wanted to get to you right away. Do you think there's going to be any shenanigans going on at Dodger Stadium today they're in Milwaukee with Rue against Miley?
Yeah, unfortunately, no. I think we're really going to see Miley. Unfortunately, I love the shenanigans part of this, but no, they really have to throw him today. Hopefully, there'll be some other hijinks in the way for Milwaukee. What do you think in terms of my agenda of rooting against Boston? Do you believe the majority of the people are better off with the Dodgers, or do you think the Brewers, because they're hot, have a better chance of taking down the Red Sox?
Gosh, I got to think conventionally, the Red Sox, boy, these Dodgers got some big pitchers, but I think that the Brewers are just feisty enough and got enough talent that they can really conventionally, I think the Red Sox beat the Dodgers, but I think the Brewers can be a good wild card for you. But boy, has this series flipped now. I mean, these Brewers are against the wall again.
Yeah, I know. I actually kind of wouldn't mind seeing the Brewers eke this thing out, although suppose if the Dodgers take care of business tonight, they have a little bit extra rest than the Brewers would winning it in 7. Should be exciting. I might actually watch baseball tonight.
And then you know what the strange thing is that these Dodgers, I mean, I'm rooting for you, so I'm rooting for Boston to go down. These Dodgers, boy, historically, this Kershaw and Puig and all these guys, they just really choke during the big games, So,
They do.
So we're gonna need these young Brewer guys to step up.
Yeah, maybe it's the Matt Stafford Kershaw connection from high school. They both seem to not show up in the playoffs, huh?
Yeah, I was just thinking, because I know we got to go to break because we got the little music coming. We got just a few seconds. But when we come back, Brian, I wanted to touch, because I wanted you to close out, because we've been talking the whole week about the Adidas thing. I wanted you to give us some closing arguments on that. We'll be right back. It's Oklahoma Brian and Frank Perez, Fifth Street Sports. Stay tuned. We got a great show for you today.
Where do you want to go on a vacation or honeymoon? The Caribbean, Europe, Hawaii, Mexico? How about Disney or a cruise? At Superior Cruise and Travel, we've got you covered. We'll assign you your own travel concierge. They'll help you design a custom vacation plan that you can't find online. And the service is completely free. You can't compare the value of this to any other online travel company. We can help you plan a custom vacation anywhere in the world. We even offer payment plans with no credit card required. Now you pay off your vacation on your time schedule. Call now and mention the promo code RADIO and save up to $500. Book your custom trip. Call Superior Cruise and Travel now and talk to one of the highest rated travel agencies in the country with a 5-star A+ online rating.
800-570-9631. 800-570-9631. 800-570-9631. That's 800-570-9631.
Attention business owners. Are you struggling while waiting for your customers to pay on their net 30, 60, or 90-day invoices? Can't get a business loan? Have no equity? Bad credit? Or maybe no credit at all? Then you need to call AmeriFactors right now. AmeriFactors will give you cash for your invoices and there's nothing to pay back. We simply buy your account receivables, and if those clients don't pay on the invoices, we take the loss. We give you funds based on your account receivables credentials, not your credit. And 98% of all applicants are approved. It's that simple. With AmeriFactors, there's no more waiting for your customers to pay. We give you the funds up front, then we wait for your customers to pay us. Fund your business today. Call AmeriFactors right now.
800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. 800-847-1183. That's 800-847-1183.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-426-3569. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns, help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-426-3569 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-426-3569 to see if you qualify. That's 800-426-3569.
Hi guys, Fifth Street Sports. We're back with a great show today on Friday afternoon. We got Oklahoma Brian, Frank Perez. Brian, I wanted, all week we've been touching on this Adidas story, and I know you got some good closing arguments on this. Let's get this one in for our listeners that want to get your final comments on this story going on.
Well, you know what? Hang on a second. Let me just read this before it's gone.
Yeah,
it's from Kurt.
On Fifth Street Social, by the way. Fifth Street Social.
50.
What's he saying? He says, I like FSU Wake under 60, right?
Yeah, so this guy Kurt is a Clemson fan. He's saying even though he's a Clemson fan, he actually likes, that's interesting. He actually likes NC State, the other side. You know what? I actually like Clemson in this game, and it was in the running to be one of my 5 picks for today. We'll see if it is. I'm squarely on the Clemson side this week. I would rather lay 17 than 17.5 where it is right now, but Clemson's right in this game. I'd be careful betting NC State. Not convinced on NC State. And in terms of the FSU total, I tend to like under on anything involving FSU because their offense is horrible, can't block anyone, and really their record is kind of a fraud record. This team should have about 2 less wins than it does. So I kind of like the dog in the Wake game. I know I look stupid picking Wake against Clemson 2 weeks ago. They lost by like 157 points, but Wake could stay in this game. They can win the game.
So do I.
So I agree on the under.
Hey, but Kurt said he's happy. He took he listened to us on Denver and Sacramento. We did okay with that. I don't know. Also, Kurt, if you didn't listen to Brian yesterday, he's been like sizzling. He's on fire. He had Portland yesterday against the Lakers. Remember we had that anti-LeBron first game with the different jersey theory. We got that one in the books.
Yeah, that was nice. It was a little in the first quarter, huh? I thought we were dead.
Yeah.
I turned on the TV and we were down 10. But it was also the, not sure if it mattered to the players, but it was the Paul Allen Memorial game. So the game started about 15, 20 minutes late and went relatively late, too, for a game that didn't go to overtime. I'll tell you what, watching these Lakers, this is going to be a big-time over team this year. They don't look like there's anybody on that team that wants to slow it down. They were jacking up threes like so early into the shot clock, and actually didn't make many, at least in the first half. Didn't make too many in the second half, for that matter. But this is a Laker team. I think their tempo is going to be potentially the highest tempo in all of the West this year, and of course Portland loves to run as well.
Yeah, I can't wait till they play like Houston or New Orleans. This thing will be back in the old days of Kiki Vandeweghe in like the 240s.
Yeah, and actually we'll talk about Houston's a tricky team. I think a lot of the public doesn't quite understand Houston's an over team, but they have the ability to be very under when they want to, particularly in the second half of the fourth quarter. They kind of flip the switch and go into big time under mode. I know a lot of guys that specialize in live betting. That's one of their favorite teams to bet is the Houston Rockets. So that should be a fun topic. NBA this year, I'm so excited about it's kind of the ultimate night owl sport, especially if you're not living on the West Coast. I love having an excuse to tell my wife why I'm staying up till midnight, 1 in the morning, because I'm watching West Coast NBA games, and it's a lot of fun. Does it not feel weird to have the NBA going so early? It's October 18th.
Yeah.
And we're 3 days into the NBA. It feels kind of unnatural to be playing this early in the year, but I love it. It should be a cool season.
Now we're just waiting for Uncle College football, and then Uncle College basketball, and then we got the whole table set. We got hockey, both footballs. We'll have both basketballs. We even got the showdown. We even got the showdown here in Vegas on the golf.
We'll talk about the showdown in a second, because that's pretty crazy what's happened in the last week. It's exactly what we said was going to happen. But hey, you just mentioned college basketball. I'm curious what your take on college basketball is in November. This drives me nuts. In theory, every year I think to myself, I'm a professional. I've got better information than anyone else. I've got access to, to literally thousands of accounts that I look at, and got people, really sharp people whispering to me, trying to get accounts from me, just sharing information. And I swear it's been a good 4 or 5 years that I haven't been able to win in November. It just defies all logic. But November is just brutally difficult for me in college basketball. And the crazy thing is I find myself on the right side of like 2, 3-point line moves constantly, but it never seems to translate into a winning month in November. But I know I need to stick with it, because it really shouldn't be that way. But
but
have you had a similar?
I remember the other thorn in your side was April baseball, April Major League Baseball. That used to be the thorn in your side, right?
April can be a little dicey. I love May baseball. In theory, I should like April baseball, because, my own particular baseball is very dependent upon wins and betting overnight totals as a result of wins. And there's a lot more wind in April and May than there is in June, July, August. Or so, I still like really early base. That's my favorite time of the year to bet baseball, because of the 20-mile-an-hour winds that you spot. Everyone else is too lazy to go bet it, or just doesn't want to bet it, or they want to bet more the next day, so they're don't want to move the line. But not me. I'm happy to go take that 2-dime bet at Chris or 3-dime bet at Pinnacle, whatever it is. I don't have the biggest appetite in terms of betting, so I love the overnights.
You were going to wrap up real quickly this Adidas thing before Kurt Morgan came in. Let's get that one in on this segment, because then after that we got some talk you can bet on, brother.
Talk you can bet on, right? Well, here's the thing. I don't know if it's a closing argument. It just gets crazier every day. Yeah, the case closed, and the defense made their closing argument, and they basically said during their closing arguments, we're talking about the Adidas sneaker bribery, fraud, whatever you want to call it, case that's being tried right now. The defense all along has made this case that, we broke NCAA rules all over the place, but we didn't break any laws. And the federal government is saying, you broke laws. You defrauded these universities. You made these players ineligible. But in their closing arguments, they went all out to basically make the case that it's not just Adidas paying people. It's Nike, it's Under Armour, it's rampant. They went specifically right at Bill Self at Kansas and said specifically that Bill Self knew about these payments that were being made to one of his players, D'Souza. They mentioned in particular that Bill Self authorized it. So, so far coaches have been pretty lucky in not getting and a lot of these witnesses have been very careful about not wanting to go right at these coaches, accuse the coaches specifically, but this was a exception to that. Bill Self was identified as being, a big part of this scheme to get players into Kansas. Where does it go from here? I think that there's more trials to come. We know it's not just Adidas. We're going to see more indictments. I'm sure coaches are going to be more careful. They're going to rely more on quote-unquote bagmen, the guys that do the dirty work for them, so they never have to interact with these kind of underworld characters. But I think it's going to get a lot worse. The NCAA's got to make a decision if they're going to investigate this or just let it go.
But like today when you mentioned that also like Nike and Under Armour and everybody else is involved in this, kind of reminded me of that I don't know, I think Jimmy Durante might have been before your time, but I'll never forget a show he was doing. He was up on stage and his girlfriend, his wife or his girl was in the front row with the table seat open, and a guy comes in and sits down right next to her and starts hitting on her, and he looked right at her and he goes, "Everybody wants to get in the act." Same thing with that happened with this Adidas thing. Guys, we'll be right back.
That's absolutely right.
Talk you can bet on. Oklahoma Brian, Frank Perez, Fifth Street Sports. Stay tuned. Back in 3 minutes. Juniper?
Not too long ago, it felt good to withdraw your cash from the bank, didn't it? For a vacation or a new car. But today, withdrawing your own cash has become risky. Pat Boone here for Swiss America. According to The Secret War, a new Swiss America white paper, I learned that all banks are now required to spy on you and me for the government, and then report any financial behavior deemed suspicious or unusual. You must read The Secret War. It's free. Truth is, I believe the government's new war against cash is really a war against us all. But the secret is now out. So please, get and read The Secret War.
Pick up your phone and call right now. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. 800-932-5517. Once again, that's 800-932-5517.
In times of economic uncertainty and chaos, your money means nothing. You may not even be able to get it from your bank or ATM. And the money you do have in the stock market will go down and down. What you can bank on is gold and silver. Gold and silver have been a reliable and trusted form of currency for thousands of years. Gold and silver have never been worth zero, and typically gold holds its value during economic turmoil. Call the Gold Hotline now and learn how to protect your money and your assets with gold and silver. And learn how to set up a new IRA or roll over your current one into a gold-backed IRA. Protect your money from the next market crash with gold and silver. Call now for your free gold guide.
800-535-7789. 800-535-7789. 800-535-7789. That's 800-535-7789. Do you use the blue pill to charge your sex life? Have you been thinking about trying the blue pill? What if we can promise you the same results for less than $3 a pill? If you're paying $20 a pill for the other pills, you're getting taken to the cleaners. Our pill delivers the exact same results for less than $3. We'll do the math for you. You'll save more than $16 a pill for the same results. Want more? We'll give you 40 blue pills or 40 yellow pills for $99 and add 4 more pills free. You save more than $500. You don't have to be a rocket scientist to know what to do next. You need to call and get your 44 pills for just $99. Stop overpaying for the other blue pills. Call us and start saving a ton of money for the exact same results. Ordering is fast and easy with your pills delivered to your door in a non-marked package. 800-223-0992. 800-223-0992. 800-223-0992. That's 800-223-0992.
Hey, Brian, we're back here, folks. Fifth Street Sports, Frank Perez, Oklahoma Brian on the SB Nation Radio Network, Sports Byline, the American Forces Network. During the break, I just got an instant message from someone who wanted Brian Brian, he wanted just a little bit more closure on that Adidas thing. So let's get that out of the way before we come up with, I know one of your favorite segments, which is it's getting that time of the year. It's near hurricane and tornado and all that season. But wrap this Adidas thing up over here for one of our listeners.
Sure. So I'll tell you one thing that I would, in terms of final thought, it's not even a final thought, it's just a new development. Did you notice yesterday the NBA through its developmental league, or I hate even calling it the G League, so it's just a corny name, but they're what we used to know as the D League is now the G League because Gatorade wrote a big check. But the league has announced yesterday that they're going to allow high school freshmen into the league for a few select players. They're calling them, actually they're using the term select players. And this will be an option. Instead of going to university and being one and done, you can sign up with the G League. They're going to pay $125,000 for essentially a one and done pro contract. And the idea is that year you'll go into the regular NBA draft. So this has kind of been brewing with overseas leagues. We saw Brandon Jennings do a league a few years ago. Australia has created a league called the Future Stars League. So there's a lot of professional leagues that basically have taken the position, if the NBA isn't going to allow freshmen into their league, why don't we let them come play with us? And at least it's 1 year of, potential next year's superstar. So interesting idea. Coincidence that they announced this in the middle of the Adidas trial?
Yeah, I
think
these
so.
guys are all ineligible now. All these college freshmen, they say, well, you don't have to be one and done. You can play in this thing for $125,000 a year. Same. You know what? It's better than that hypocritical fake college scholarship where they're going to come in for a year, do the jerk job, and then bail out. So that's good for that. Now, Brian, we gotta get some info here so our listeners can make some dough. And I know right now I see a lot of wind and a lot of rain over the entire East Coast. What's that going to do for us in some of these matchups?
Yeah, so those are two things that in October we typically see a lot of is wind and rain. And rain, I think rain, I don't know that we've talked about this on this show, but I know my general feeling about rain, and I think you would agree that in terms of wind and rain, which is the one that you'd rather see if you're trying to bet under on a game, Frank?
I would go with wind.
Wind, 100%. Yeah. Rain, if it has no wind behind it, is useless. If anything, it's an opportunity to bet the over, because rain doesn't stop offenses, particularly if you're playing on a artificial turf field or even just a grass field that drains well. Rain, no big deal, but wind is a very big deal. And we got a lot of wind games this week. They're concentrated in, if I was going to geographically describe the area, it would be essentially the Big Ten country or MAC country. And so let's run down a bunch of games that have wind so you're aware of them. Now, some of these games have moved a little bit, but you know what? They'll move again on Saturday morning. People wake up Saturday morning, they put on ESPN Game Day, or they get onto Twitter, and holy smokes, they figure out that big wins at Ohio State, and they're freaking out like they just figured it out. But let's go through these now. Okay, so let's start with the MAC. Several games in the MAC that have a decent amount of wind. Starting with Buffalo, Toledo, 18-mile-an-hour wind with gusts a little bit higher. That game did get bet to the under earlier. There actually was a group betting the over on that game. Not sure why. Okay, so we'll get to the Toledo game.
Yeah, but what's the total on that now? Just so our listeners know more or less what they're looking for. Under what?
You know what? You're going to have to help me out. It was 61, but I'm looking at the weather right now. I can't see.
I'm gonna get you the updated to the second line here, because this is talk you can bet on, and we really want to give out some good info. We're on a really good roll, especially you. You seem to be on fire here. So Toledo, and let's go with Toledo. And as you can tell, folks, this show's right out of the oven. It's fresh.
Okay, yeah. So it's Toledo and Buffalo.
Under 61 on that game.
61. That's what I thought. Yeah.
Game 339.
That's still a good number if you want to go under on that.
Go ahead.
Next is a game also in the MAC, Western Michigan, Central Michigan. Going to have 20-mile-an-hour winds in this game.
Okay, let me get that game for him. Remember, right out of the oven. This is fresh. This is home cooking here, guys. We don't prepare for this stuff. We tell it. Two guys talking at a bar, giving you great info. This is the way we work. Game 363, Western Michigan and Central Michigan. We're going to go under 55.
Yeah. So you haven't lost a key number there. Yeah. 54.5 would be the next key. 54 would be the next key number. So yeah, you're still safe going under that. Is Eastern Michigan Ball State.
Ooh,
this game's got
like this game.
This game's got 25-mile-an-hour winds. Yeah, this is a monster.
Yeah. Oh my! Didn't Rockford go over on this game?
He did.
He did. Okay, so Ball State, which is game 337, we're going to go. Oh wow, it's under 46 now. Ball State under 46. I think Rockford went over 48.5. Oh man.
Sorry, Rockford. Well,
yeah.
You know what? It could go either way.
He wins enough anyways. He gets enough money anyways. What's the next one?
Okay, now let's move over to the Big Ten. And I've got several of the Big Ten. I've got 5 games in the Big Ten.
Okay.
Okay, Illinois, Wisconsin.
345. Illinois, Wisconsin. We're going to go, let's take that one. Under 56.5. I see some 57s.
57 would be great, but I'm happy going under 56.5. That's solid. This is a big time win. This is 25-mile-an-hour wind. So
okay.
Next is Maryland, Iowa.
Oh, I like this one too.
I know who you like in this game.
Yeah, I certainly do. That's game 320, Maryland and Iowa. We're gonna go. Wow, this is a good one though. It's tough. Maryland, Iowa under 44.
Wow. That's been down quite a bit. It was 45 last night.
What's the win on that one?
That's also 25 miles an hour. Believe it or not.
That'll get the job done. Okay, next one.
Yeah. Next game is corn dog special, Minnesota at Nebraska.
Minnesota and Nebraska. Let's look for that game here really quick. Minnesota at Nebraska. You guys, this is right out of the kitchen here with Mama. So Minnesota and Nebraska, game 380. Minnesota and Nebraska, we're going under 54.5. Minnesota, I'm writing all these down because I'm going to bet them, Brian. Because, we always do anyways, our whole group, under 54.5. I just want to double down. Okay, what's that, 25 on that one too, on the wind speed?
No, that one's 18.
That's okay.
Which is still solid. We're looking, anything above 15 miles an hour, we're happy to go bet the under on.
Okay.
That's my cutoff. Okay. Now the next one and the last one in the Big Ten is Penn State at Indiana.
Penn State at Indiana. Let's get that puppy for him here. Penn State at Indiana. That's game 344. Penn State and Indiana. We're going under 60.5. Penn State and Indiana. What's the speed on that wind there?
That's also an 18-mile-an-hour wind.
Okay, good. So we got us a nice little, it's going to feel like after the bus gets off after a big taco stand in Mexico, there's going to be a lot of wind going on over here.
I like that.
But what I got, Brian, is I got a special for them on an NFL game. This game in London. Yeah. I love the under in this game. I know you got the same info I do. That field is so chopped up.
Crashed.
It looks like when like when my 8-year-old used to help me mow the lawn. He used to get out there with the weeder and the lawn. That's what that field looks like. So we got to go under in that Tennessee game, don't you think?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And that's what, 45.
Yeah, that's a strong play.
Under 45.
Still a good number.
Yeah, under 45 over there in England, boys. We're going to take that game. So we got us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got, I think, 9 underplays.
Oh, wow.
You got to love that. You got to love that, especially. Oh, we got some messages in from our 5th Street Social. What do we got in here, Andrew? We got to answer these guys. Billy Donlin, any thoughts on game 7-15? Golden State tonight, only 2.5 at Utah Jazz. Last year it would have been 6. This on the Fifth Street Social. Brian, why don't you take that one? You're lasered on this NBA this year.
Well, I'll tell you what, the Utah Jazz, all the cool kids are betting the Utah Jazz this year. They're kind of, they're supposed to be the prime contender to Golden State this year. And I kind of see why this line is low. You know, if this game were a month later, yeah, it would be a little bit higher. But this is a statement game for a Utah team that wants to kind of establish themselves as a force in the NBA. This game means a lot more to Utah. The Friday night, the home crowd's going to be jacked up on ice cream and Sprite or whatever it is that they get off on in Salt Lake City.
There's no coffee over there, buddy. There's no coffee.
Yeah. I kind of I don't think you're getting as many points as I'd like, but I think when it's all said and done, I think Utah gets it done. And Utah has played phenomenal against Golden State in the regular season the last few years.
But you know what's crazy in Utah? They used to not like you to have like the caffeinated drinks like Pepsi and all that until they bought a big share in their stock. Now it's okay to drink Pepsi. But guys, it's
is that right?
Yeah, it's the truth. Yeah, it's okay. It's amazing how a couple $100 million just reverse courses of. But guys, it's Fifth Street Sports. We'll be right back. We got the big Pick 100 contest. Oklahoma Brian, Frank Perez. Stay tuned.
If you or someone you love suffers from drug addiction, now is the time to utilize your private health insurance PPO plan. If eligible, receive up to $30,000 or more in substance abuse benefits with low or no out-of-pocket cost. We are the National Treatment Network, the premier drug and alcohol treatment referral service operating 24/7. We help connect you with facilities nationwide that accepts PPO private health insurance for substance abuse. If you have PPO substance abuse coverage and you need immediate admittance to a medical detox or residential rehab treatment center, call us now. Call our live referral helpline today. The call is free. This program is not available to Medicare or Medicaid customers.
Call 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. 800-296-1252. That's 800-296-1252.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-426-3569. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns, help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-426-3569 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-426-3569 to see if you qualify. That's 800-426-3569.
Attention to anyone that's written a book or wants to write a book. The process is not that complicated. Take a first step. Even if you write a page a day, you'll build momentum and your book will become a reality. The hard part is getting it published. That's when you need to call Page Publishing. They've got hundreds and hundreds of thank yous from different new authors, just like you. They make the process of publishing your new book and getting it sold online a simple process. You can learn how simple it is right now by calling for your free Page Publishing New Author Submission Kit. One quick 3-minute phone call, that's all it takes to get free information and learn how you can get your book published. Pick up your phone right now and call us 24 hours a day at this number. 800-603-0885. 800-603-0885. 800-603-0885. That's 800-603-0885.
Hi guys, Fifth Street Sports on Sports Byline, SB Nation Radio Network, and the American Forces Network. We're back. It's Oklahoma Brian, Frank Perez. This is our Friday segment, the third segment where we always come in. Guys, on the Fifth Street Soul Show, we got another question here for us. Game 310, UNLV plus 10. Are you betting them, and are you going to the game tonight? Well, we're definitely
we're going to find out in just a moment.
Well, we're definitely betting them, but I don't think I'm gonna go to the game. But you say that the money's always right on UNLV, right?
Yeah, the money is on. That's kind of one of my. If I was to write a Bible of sports betting, there'd be a chapter or at least a paragraph on UNLV. The Steam, more than any team in all of sports, seems to always be right on UNLV. So if you see a game move, 1 or 2 points on UNLV, follow that move, either whether it's for them or against them. Smart money seems to always know what's up with UNLV, and the Steam is on. Yeah. Most definitely on UNLV this week.
So let's give Billy Donnell a UNLV prescription. Billy, we're going to go with UNLV plus 10. Follow this team in the Rebel games. That's exactly what Brian. That's one of his favorites. He's already released 4 or 5 of his best card tricks. So this one's going to be.
I will say we were talking about the that Clemson NC State game earlier. I really, really wanted to be on Clemson. I felt bad laying the 17.5, and I knew you wouldn't let me buy out. We can't buy half points in our contest, can we?
Not really. No. I wouldn't. No, because then what would we do like on an NFL 3 in that? Use 20, 25 cents, stuff like that.
I'd charge you 50. Yeah.
Oh well.
Hey,
yeah.
by the way,
no problem.
Yeah.
I mean,
you know what they call that game? Clemson versus NC State. It's got a rivalry. Probably not one of the more well-known rivalries, but. It is a rivalry.
Isn't that the third week in October game?
That is Alabama versus Tennessee.
Okay.
Now, Clemson versus NC State is the Textile Bowl.
Textile Bowl. Oh, look at that. Well, but I'm gonna bet Clemson. By the way, to Kurt Morgan, I know he's a Clemson homer, but I'm gonna take Clemson minus the 17. Well, guys, you know what time it is, don't you? You know what time it is. There it is. There it is, folks. It's showtime at Fifth Street Sports. Time for the Pick 100 contest. Right now, Brian's 18, 15, and 2, and I'm 17 and 18. He's got a 2-game lead on me. He had a 3-game lead, but I gained a game on him last week. Brian, I'll bet you after last week when you're starting to see me gain on you, you got to be feeling like a pizza delivery driver in Ethiopia. Like you can hear the footsteps, right? You can just hear the footsteps. like you're delivering Domino's in downtown Ethiopia, you can just hear the footsteps coming at you, baby. Because I'm going to go first, and I'm going to come at you with 338, Ball State plus 3.
Downtown Ethiopia. Is that an address?
No, but can you imagine delivering pizza there? I mean, you're going to hear some footsteps, baby. Well, that's what you should be hearing right now with my picks.
Ball State. Okay. All right. I'll take your Ball State, and I will. I'll go with my first game is going to be game 317, North Carolina on the road at Syracuse. It's a talented North Carolina team that's been underachieving most of the year. They're still, I think, a more talented team than Syracuse, and if I know North Carolina, they seem to always get it in gear when it's too late at the end of the year. I like this team getting 10.5 points. I think that's way too many points on the road. 317 North Carolina, my first play.
Okay, now I'm going to go with game 319. Now this is the team that all year I've called them Sybil because they go. This team, they should be handing out Prozac at halftime, because they are bipolar. Now, last week there should be on the upswing, but I don't count it because they beat like a really weak Rutgers team. But now Maryland plus 10 against Iowa. I'm going to catch them on the upside of their bipolar and take Maryland plus 10.
It's a great play. I would have used the play myself if you hadn't already picked it. That was going to be one of my plays as well. So
I'm sorry to hear that. I'm really sorry to hear that, buddy. Oh.
For what it's worth, though, we did match on Maryland. That's
but it looks like you're going to Subway on the next game.
I am going to Subway. I'm going to order a big sandwich because that's what this is. This is a sandwich game. This is like a this would be what, a po' boy, I think, for the people in Baton Rouge. You know, it's a game. This is not that it's not an important game, but LSU played Georgia last week. They get Alabama next. This is classic sandwich material. This is a foot-long po' boy, and I'm going to take it. I'm going to take Mississippi State in a great spot, getting 6.5 points. They could actually win this game, and I think it'll be competitive. So I think I used this in the dog pound this week. I'm using it as one of my picks. I think I'm opposite of Rockford, so that's okay.
Okay, well, Rockford, I mean, he's not always right. So I'm going to take my next game. I'm going to take Purdue at home plus 12, game 334. I know they're playing Ohio State, and this looks like a real I was going to shy away from it because I see a lot of little fancy boys and a lot of good guys all on this Purdue. But I really like this team's much more talented, too talented to be getting 12 at home. And even though Ohio State's good, they're not as good as they appear, to me. So I'm going to take Purdue at home plus 12.
Yeah, so that's I don't disagree with the play. If I was going to be critical of one thing, though, I would say that you're a little bit late to the number. And I know you're stuck because our contest is Friday. You can't make these picks on Monday or Tuesday, but I think you lost a lot of line value in this game. A lot of the smart money was grabbing the 14.5 and the 14s on Monday and Tuesday. I think you're settling for a secondary number there, Frank.
Well, I kind of had to, but I like to play that much that usually I wouldn't be betting it. If we gave it out at 14 or 14.5, I wouldn't take the 12 because that's enough equity to make us not play it. But for this contest, and I think that Purdue's strong enough, I'm going to hold up with the dozen here and take the 12.
Okay, this, by the way, is also a windy game. It wasn't in my top 5 Big 10 win games, but there is some decent wind in this Purdue game. All right, so let's go to my next play, which is going to be 321 Virginia plus 7 against Duke. I'll be totally honest. This wasn't a game that jumped out at me. I saw a guy that's pretty sharp. He's usually pretty good with this team. He seems to really know Virginia. He seems to be on them when he need to be on them and against them when he's against them. And this guy is dialed into Virginia. I see him betting Virginia this week. So I'm going to be a kleptomaniac and steal this game from him. I'm nothing other than a stolen game here. Virginia plus 7 from a source that I respect.
I'm just looking here at the line to make sure that I'm giving everybody the right line. I don't think it's a little bit cheating because on the next game against UAB, I like game 385 North Texas plus 1.5. I know it's plus 1.5 minus 118 at Pinnacle right now, but there are 1.5, so I think I'm entitled to that. I think this North Texas quarterback is lights out. UAB, they should be able to put up a lot of points against this team. I know the total is only 54.5, but I believe North Texas will get the majority of these points. So I'm going to go with 385 North Texas plus 1.5.
Hey, this is kind of like a pre-conference championship for these. I'm not sure if these guys are in the same division of that conference, but this is clearly for the front runner of that conference. And, the winner is going to be, celebrating in about a couple months at a Motel 6 in Mobile, going to a really third-rate bowl. Right. But you got to win the game first.
That's right.
So, all right. I tend to agree. Although UAB has been a really hot team lately. Okay, 310. This was the game that one of our listeners just asked about. Billy Donlin, I think, wants to know if you're going to UNLV. How many people actually go to UNLV games? I'm curious.
Well, there's more.
10, 20?
No, there's more now. But I think when it was down there by Sam Boyd, way down. Well, it still might be. I don't even know where they play. But when they used to be down there by Sam Boyd, I never drove down there. It was all the way on the other side of town, way deep down there, and like kind of in between Henderson, going out there towards Lake Mead. It was an ugly stadium, but I don't go to them.
Who gets more people? Oh, I'm sure it's UNLV, but it's got to be close between Bishop Gorman and UNLV. I'd say it can't be that far apart, right, in terms of crowd size?
And I graduated from Bishop Gorman, but no, Bishop Gorman is they are the like Friday Night Lights team out here. Forget it. I would say Bishop Gorman.
That's funny.
You know what I mean? Bishop Gorman. They got a lot of money in that school. You know, the tuition there is like as much as a lot of colleges. That's high school, and that's a high school.
Well, I think that UNLV thing will change once they get the new stadium, but yeah, I agree. For now, it's a they could probably use those half-price ticket booths to try to get tourists to go to the UNLV game, right? Give them a $5 ticket and a buffet. Maybe trick them into going to.
Yeah. They got to trick. They got to trick them into those games, but not the Rebels. I mean, not the running Rebels of basketball. They got to. We still got our great loyal fans there.
Sure. Okay, so you're up now. You got one more game.
One more game. Okay, now in this game, I think it's opposite mentality here. You're going from the beaches in Southern Cal to, kind of up there in the green pastures with Praise Be and Blessed and this and that. But I'm going to take USC, the Trojans, +7 against Utah State. I believe they can handle them. Last week, they won 31-20. They won 31-20. I got on that USC wagon last week, and I'm going to stick with it and take the 7 against this Utah State squad or Utah squad.
So sounds like a competitive game. I think I haven't really handicapped that game, but yeah, taking 7 makes sense. Okay. All right, I'm going to jump to the NFL for my last game. I'm going to oppose the Patriots, which I do every week. Lately, it hasn't worked out particularly well, but I'm still convinced there's a lot of value being against the Patriots and Bears. I think this game is kind of a semi-changing of the guards in my mind. I think the Bears are a team on their way up that will be an elite team for the next 4 or 5 years, and I think the window is closing on the Patriots. I know people think I'm nuts for saying that because they probably still will win the division and make a run in the playoffs, but I think that that could also not happen this year. So I like Bears +3. I think there's a lot of value. That's my fifth play.
But I kind of like them, Brian, because if you noticed during that Kansas City game, did you see a couple times Brady had some throws that, wow, they just didn't look that strong, Did you notice that?
Yeah. They look mortal. I'm not convinced that the Patriots are invincible like they were in the past, and I think there's value. If I don't win this bet, I'm going to be going against the Patriots again and again and again. I think there's value fading the Patriots.
I think you're right. And then this is a good Bears team. And then I know last week they lost a tough one in Miami. They should have won on the field. They had the game in hand. Then they lost on a game-ending field goal, had it in overtime, back and forth, and with no time left in overtime. They should have at least gotten a tie, but they ended up losing to the Dolphins. So they should be really, really scratching here to fight back, especially against this New England team that could be a little bit off. Guys, we'll be right back. It's Fifth Street Sports. We got to take a break. Oklahoma Brian, Frank Perez. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few minutes.
All right, you're clear.
Hi, Rick Tittle here. You may know me as the sports talk host that can talk about all sports: football, basketball, baseball, hockey, soccer, golf, tennis, auto racing, boxing, Olympics, rollerball. But this time I'm here to talk about pain. If you have pain in your knee or your back like I do, then you should know about the Health Alert Hotline. If Medicare is your primary insurance, then you could qualify for a back or knee brace at little or no charge. I have an old injury from my football playing days, and anything that can help take that pain away and make it more manageable, that has my attention. I love the free delivery, and they take care of the paperwork for you. So if you have Medicare and need help for back, ankle, knee, or shoulder pain, please call the Health Alert Hotline at 800-428-1570. That's 800-428-1570. Agents are standing by 24/7, so go ahead and call now. 800-428-1570.
Are you an inventor who would like to try to have an invention or idea patented and submitted to companies, but you don't know what to do next? Call for free information from InventHelp. InventHelp, a leading inventor service company, has been helping inventors since 1984 and has sales offices located in more than 60 cities nationwide. You'll want to talk to the company that has helped secure more than 7,000 invention patents. So call InventHelp. Even if you have an idea for improving an existing product and don't know where to go with it, you'll still want to call InventHelp for free information. You'll find out how InventHelp may assist you in trying to patent your invention and submit it to companies. So call now.
Call InventHelp at 1-800-316-1738. That's 1-800-316-1738. Get your free information by dialing 1-800-316-1738. That's 1-800-316-1738. 1-800-316-1738.
Hi, I'm Dr. Robert Clapper, Chief of Orthopedic Surgery at Cedars-Sinai Medical Group in Los Angeles, California.
All right, Frank, your usual 2-minute close.
Sports. As a weekend warrior, you know about sports injuries and pain. Exercise is an important element in keeping your body's core in good shape to minimize sports injuries. But when you are in pain, there is one product that I recommend to my patients, and that is Blue Goo Gel. Blue Goo consists of a proprietary formula developed for the treatment of inflammation and general muscle aches and strains. I recommend Blue Goo for my patients coping with hip and knee pain before surgery, especially bursitis and tendinitis. Give Blue Goo a try. Call 1-888-330-0123 and you'll receive a 1-week supply of Blue Goo absolutely free. The makers of Blue Goo are even paying the shipping. The number again is 1-888-330-0123. If you want more information on Blue Goo, visit online at www.dothegoo.com.
Now available at select Big 5 stores near you.
Well, guys, it's Fifth Street Sports here on the Sports Byline SB Nation Radio Network. I'm Frank Perez. We've had a great show here with Oklahoma Brian, my co-host, and myself. You know, Brian pointed out during the break that all of our selections, that we had all 10 underdogs. Now, Brian, if you notice, every week I almost always take nothing but underdogs, because one thing I've learned about, when I was a young bettor with my, that my dad would take me around the sports books, is I'll never forget betting a game. I think it was a Vikings game, and he had me put $55 on them -4.5, and they won by 4. And since that day, it burned my ass so bad to win the game and actually lose my $55 that I always try to play underdogs as much as I can, and I know the value's there. And Brian, have you ever noticed, like, if you take a minus and break it in half, you can make it look like a plus? You know that? That's what my dad said. He said, that'll teach you for betting a favorite. He said, you take that minus, break it in half, and it looks like a plus.
I like it.
But
yeah, there's a little bit of value on dogs. It's not enough to make a profit just blindly betting them.
No.
But all things being equal, yeah, there's a little bit of value on. Of course, we talk about it every week, every show almost. Market entry, having multiple outs, having reduced juice, and then making smart decisions like, being a little biased towards dogs and unders. All of those things help for sure.
Right, and then like if you notice, like the only time you'll see me take a favorite is like for sure, and I've said it the last 2 Thursday nights when they took the Giants from +3 to -1 or pick 'em. I laid the 1 with Philadelphia, and last night when everybody was jumping on Arizona and when it went from an opening 3 to a pick, that's the only time is I'll bet against a favorite. I mean, against a dog is when the public's on the dog. Billy Donlin, Fifth Street Social. Let's go OBBB. I'm going to tease Utah down to 1 and US versus USC. Easy money. Oh, Billy, after last week, after I gave him a nighttime ass whooping in that Bears game, in that Dallas game, he's still coming up now. He's teasing against the old Frankie boy. But anyways, it's been a great show, everybody. We're still praying for Tony at 5 Dimes. Tony, come home. We hope you're okay. We appreciate you. See you next Monday, 1 p.m. Pacific.
All right, guys, good show. Talk to you later.
Say Radio News. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo is meeting with officials in Mexico City as thousands of migrants continue to trek to the United States-Mexico border. The caravan is currently still about 1,000 miles south of the U.S.-Mexico border. The president has said everything's on the table, including moving the U.S. military to the southern border between the United States and Mexico. Republican Congressman Peter King on that idea.
If in the end the president has to use the military, that will be a last step. But I think, and you know, when he blames the Democrats, here's to me is the real criticism of the Democrats, is that as a country, we're not speaking with one voice.
The Barron County, Wisconsin Sheriff's Office